All right, here's an interesting way I like to use the inline search. The inline search is searching just for certain words inside the Bible passage or chapter, or even the whole New Testament. You'll have a Bible verse chapter open. I got the Bible, King James open. Go to these three little dots here. Hit the old inline, show inline search right there. And now I came across this verse. I was like, I wonder how many times this word woe unto you, Chorazin, woe unto you, Bethsaida. And I was like, how many times is that in there? So, you go up here and you type in the word woe, W-O-E, and you hit go like that. You hit the little arrow right here, and then boom, it shows you all the times the word woe is in there. It gives you all the passages, which is really cool. And over here, it'll tell you how many times, 41 times. It's in this particular Bible, King James Version. In the New Testament, I'm doing a search for the New Testament only right here. Then I was like, I wonder how many times it's used inside the NIV, which we know takes out verses, leaves out special important words of God. And here we go. It's in 43 times. I was like, well, how could it be in there 43 times? Well, we know that it takes verses out of the Bible, especially the words of Jesus. And so I was going down word for word, verse for verse, and I was looking at this and I was comparing them. I linked them up. You can link them up right here. I got it on, what do I got on? F. And I linked this one to F and that one to F. And of course, they link together. So as I'm scrolling down, you can scroll down. They scroll down together. And I'm looking at each verse. And I'm noticing as it goes down, I'm like, that matches. That one matches. Okay, 13 matches. I get down to 14 right here on the left side. I see 14 over here. I'm like, wait a minute. There is no 14 over here in the NIV. I didn't know they were taking that one out. And you click this little C. Of course, they're going to give you a little note. That's the responsible thing to do. Some manuscripts that say this, some manuscripts to actually put this in there. Some manuscripts leave it out. And so, of course, when we do our research, we understand, that some manuscripts are more reliable than others. The question is, which ones are which, right? So that's another study for another time. But I was like going through here, and I was like, well, why does this got more? Because if you scroll down, it's got more missing. It's got Matthew 24:19, Luke 13:17 is missing, and by the time you get down to Luke 21:23 is missing. But then you get down here, it stops at Revelation chapter 12, and let's see that real quick. Revelation chapter 12. You see, it gets down here to Revelation chapter 12, verse 12, and that's the last woe. But over here in the NIV, it just keeps on going. It adds woe quite a few more times. I mean, like 6 more times. So it makes up for the ones that it took off by just simply translating a different word like alas into woe. So you get it. You get the number up here, but it is still missing. Now, which one is it missing? This is the key. Reason why I was noticing that it was missing the 14th verse here. So right here, 14th verse, you don't see it over here. It's missing. It goes from 13 to 14, and we didn't know what it was, so we went and read it in the King James Version. What does it say? It says, "Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you devour widows' houses, and for a pretense make long prayers. Therefore you shall receive the greater damnation." You shall receive the greater damnation. Teachers, Pharisees, scribes, leaders. I would classify scholars into this category. Scholars who take out, claim that certain manuscripts are better than others, leaving out the words of Jesus. I think that qualifies for this kind of damnation here. But anyway, it was just interesting to do the inline search on both these Bibles, put them side by side, link them up, and figure out where they match and where they don't match. Of course, if you go to the NIV over here and you do a little, go to the introduction and read why do you think they would take these things out, and you can read real carefully right here that they got their reasons. It starts off saying things like this. Let's read it. Let's read it together. By over 100 scholars working diligently from the best available Hebrew. Now that's the manuscripts that they claim are reliable, right? They claim that their manuscripts are better. After several years of exploratory study by committees, so they vote by committee, they've decided by committee that the words of Jesus need to be taken out because they've got manuscripts that they assume are better, ignoring all the other evidence, and they just don't want those words there. That's a pesky little word right there. This is a little pesky little verse with condemning teachers and scholars and leaders, that they're going to have the greater damnation. We can't have that in there now. No, 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 no. How about we pull a committee together by committee, and let's just vote that little thing out of there, the pesky little words of Jesus, you know? And then it looks like it says right here, by committee from the Christian Reformed Church and National Association of Evangelicals, a scholarly group. This scholarly group of leaders, teachers, and scholars, they didn't like that verse too much, it looks like. All right. And then it says, and they concurred the need for a new translation in the Bible. I bet they did. They needed a new translation. I mean, those words of Jesus, they just are a little bit too rough on them. We really need another translation. We've got to get this out of there. Get it out. And so we really need another translation. They concurred that right there, you see. And this group, they decided, though not made up of other church representatives, was trans-denominational. What is trans-denominational? Really? Interfaith? Ecumenical? Yep. All right. And so its conclusion was endorsed by a large number of leaders from many denominations who meet in Chicago. So I'm not going to read any further. You can always find out some juicy details by reading the introductory of your Bibles, and you'll find out all kinds of revealing factors on why the Bible is the way it is. So trust the King James. We're not King James only readers. We're King James only believers. Peace.